Right, I'm busy knitting myself a cardigan, and this is the right front. I've already done the back and the left front, and this is the rib I've just started, and I've done a cable cast on and a twisted rib because I like the cable cast on and I like the twisted rib because it makes a nice neat rib. And I'll show you what I've already done of this cardigan. This is the back. And the left front. And when I start my cast on edge, I always leave a long strand like this. And that's for any sewing up that has to be done afterwards. That comes in handy for that. The same with the back here. There's a long strand for there. And the same with the shoulders. This is a set-in sleeve. So I'll be sewing the shoulder seams. So I've left a long strand for to sew that when I get around to doing that. And as you can see, it's a twisted rib. It's quite neat with a cable cast on, and it's quite a lot of spring in the rib, and it stays tight like that. It doesn't go baggy even after it's washed. And this is nice wool. I've got the balls here. It's called So Crafty, and I buy it from Aldi's, and this was a pack of 4 balls, and I originally bought 8 balls because the last cardigan I didn't have enough in 4 balls, and I ended up having to pull one of the sleeves out that I had done and make both the sleeves shorter. And so I wasn't going to make that mistake again. But when I knit the sweater, there was still about 1/3 of a ball left. So I had these 4 balls to knit the cardigan with what was left of the sweater. So I know there's going to be plenty. And that's all it's cost. It's £3.69 it costs for the 400 gram balls. And the only other cost would be for the buttons. That is, if I don't have any spare buttons in the house, because I have a large tin, which I keep all buttons. I never throw buttons away if they're still good. I keep them, and I keep them in a tin, which I have done for years. And my mother did before me, and the children played with the buttons when they were kids, so they come in handy for more things than that. And I more than likely have enough buttons. I'll be able to find buttons to match this cardigan. So this is the left side I'm doing at the moment. I think it's the left. No, it's the right. Sorry, this is the right side. I've started, and I've done the twisted rib and the cable cast on, and I'll show you how I do the twisted rib. Pull some wool out of the ball. So the first stitch is a knit. So I knit into the back of the stitch. And then I just knit a plain, ordinary purl stitch. But always knit into the back of the knit stitch. It gives it a slightly twisted look. And I think it looks better than the ordinary knit one, purl one. That's not twisted. I think it looks neater. So anyway, I'll knit across this row just to show how I do it. And a lot of people who might have just started knitting, they'll probably find the way I do this rib, just knitting into the back of the knit stitch, is probably easier, because I find it very difficult knitting into the back of a purl stitch. It doesn't come easy, even though I've been knitting for a hell of a lot of years. And I think the effect looks just as good, so that suits me, the way I do that. And this cardigan I'm knitting, actually, I have a book which I don't follow patterns. I worked out how many stitches I need for whatever size I happen to be at the time, because I'm 73 years old now and I've been knitting cardigans. My sizes have changed over the years. So I worked out how many stitches I needed from whatever size I was doing, and I've kept them in a book. And I use those same stitches for whatever I'm doing. I work out the number of stitches I need, and if I'm doing a pattern, I work out how to get the pattern into those stitches. And as I don't like following patterns because they tend to get me muddled up sometimes. But I like to knit. I've been knitting for a lot of years, and sometimes when you're just sitting watching the television of a night time, nothing else to do, I'll get my knitting needles out, and I'm always knitting something. As soon as I've finished one thing, I'll be knitting something else. That's the way I am. I can't just sit and do nothing and watch the television. I like to be doing something. My eyesight's not as good as it used to be, but I suppose it happens to all of us at this age. But I had about 53 stitches, I think, on here at the moment, and I'll have to be the last row of rib that I do, I'll have to increase a few because it has to go up to 57. And I'll have to incorporate them into the last row and then start the pattern. And I'll do another video sometime and show how I do the pattern that's on this cardigan, because it's very simple. It's a kind of a rib, but it comes out like a basket stitch. And it's very easy. And I've done one or two videos showing how to knit in other patterns, and I'll do this one and show them how this one's done. Because it looks nice when it's finished. And so that's something I've maybe seen the pattern some time or other over the years in a knitting pattern or something like that, and I've just remembered the pattern and copied it down in my book for patterns for the future that I might want to do, like with any other ones I happen to see. But I don't remember where I've seen it, but I've seen it sometime over the years, probably where the ideas come from. So that's my twisted rib. I've done a few rows and getting started on the next side, and then I'll probably have it finished in about a week, so I'll be knitting something else after that.